if you want to gain the keys to the kingdom, and what I mean specifically by that statement is that if you want to be able to be financially independent, then you must provide a good or a service that people want. And in order to do that, you have to work with people. And if you have to work with people, you have to be societally literate. Know how to have a basic conversation, know how to look them in the eye, know how to go through the motions. But when it comes to your own personal time, it's your prerogative on what you choose to do. But society has these unwritten rules. Sometimes I play by them, sometimes they don't. I don't, rather. For instance, if I see someone in a grocery store, they ask me where something is at, or someone who is shorter asks me if I can get something on a top shelf for them, I'm gentlemanly about it. I look them in the eye, I get them what they want, I shake their hand and tell them to have a good day. That is part of being a decent human being. But one of the rules I don't play by is that if you see somebody out in public, which I do quite often, I live in a town with 29,000 people. Pretty much if you go out during the prime hours of the day, you will see somebody you know, whether that's from church, school, work, wherever it may be. But the way that this rule is supposed to work is that if you're in the grocery store, you see somebody that you haven't seen in 4 years, you're supposed to go up to them, ask them how they're doing. You're supposed to give a shit about how they're doing. They're supposed to ask you how you're doing, what you're up to these days. Even though in today's interconnected world of social media, phones, you can get a hold of somebody if you really choose to. Even if they don't have social media, you have their family members who are close to them, where you can contact them. But you ask them how they're doing, and then you're supposed to exchange pleasantries, have a 2 or 3 minute conversation, and then go your separate ways. The other day, I was with a friend of mine at the store, picking up a couple things. I saw the pastor's wife from the old church that I used to go. I haven't been to that church in over a decade. I saw her and I just kept going my separate way. It's not anything personal. It's nothing that has anything to do with her. It's situational. I'm more about situations and ideas rather than people. I didn't say a word, and I told my friend, I said, nothing against her, but I don't give a shit how she's doing. She doesn't give a shit how I'm doing, but yet there's an unwritten societal rule that we're supposed to ask each other how we're doing, genuinely care, and we're supposed to act like we give a shit, even though neither of us do. And I understand she doesn't and I don't. I get that. I see no problem in that. She's literally not in my mind whatsoever, and I'm not in her mind whatsoever. This charade is very comical. I'm very scrupulous in who I choose to speak with. But all these rules that you're supposed to have, another one is when you're with a big group of people in a conversation, most of the time, they're not genuinely listening to what you're saying. They're giving you the semblance of listening. That way you'll finish your statement. Then they can talk about themselves. They can one-up you. They can change the topic entirely. They will do whatever it is to make it about themselves. We as people, and I say we because this pertains to me as well, are narcissistic. But at least I am aware of it. But the way it's supposed to work is you say something you want to say, like, for instance, I played basketball and I got 10 3-pointers, and the next person's going to say something to the effect of, oh, I remember when I played and I got 15 3-pointers. They're always going to try to be a little bit better. They're always going to try to make it about them. That is why, when it pertains to socializing, a lot of it is just going through the motions. It's basically a charade, is all it is. And I understand if you want to be financially stable, if you want to not be in isolation, because you don't want to isolate yourself from everybody 100% of the time. We as humans need to be social. You don't want to put yourself in solitary confinement, but you just deal with people on your own terms, is the way you got to go about it.